Buck was born at the end of March in the year 2024, and he was rescued by researcher Shannon Werder. She found him in Lac La Hache, or near Lac La Hache, and he was rescued alongside his two siblings and was brought to the BC Wildlife Park.
So Buck was rescued last year, and I am doing a graduate research project, and I'm looking into fisher reproduction and how it's affected by habitat. And so we have a bunch of females with radio transmitter implants, and so that's how we track the females around, and I track the females to their dens during denning season, which is usually for about a couple months from like March until like June. And last year I discovered that one of our females had died, and so that's kind of when we rescued these three kits.
And Buck was found alongside his siblings. The plan for these three fishers was to do a slow release on them. The first male was released with his telemetry tracker. Every fisher had a tracker. The first fisher was released, unfortunately did not make it. The second fisher was released and unfortunately did not make it either. So with the fast mortality rate after we released these two fishers, we did decide to keep Buck. Another reason we kept him is he was born with a congenital jaw abnormality. So the success for long-term survival would be lessened, making him a perfect candidate to keep at the BC Wildlife Park.
Buck comes from the Columbian population of fishers. The Columbian population is red listed within the province, and so they are suggested to have less than 600 individuals left, and they have reproductive rates that are less than half than those of their northern counterparts. The females give birth and rear their kits inside denning trees, and they need these denning trees in order to complete their life history. And these denning trees have a significant amount of decay in them, and they take over 100 years to develop on the landscape, so they're pretty rare. This population is declining because there's been a lot of habitat deforestation. Fishers require kind of more mature forest with a lot of canopy over top. And then, as well as these denning trees within their home ranges. And so that's been a huge loss for this species.
So Buck is primarily a carnivore. So he eats a lot of red meats. His favorite is a feline diet, which is basically just ground red meat mixed with vitamins and added nutrients that he needs. He also eats whatever other red meat we might have. Beef is his favorite. He also will consume foods that are seasonally available, so items like fruits and seeds and nuts.
The really interesting prey that they have, though, is they really like porcupine. So they're really good at hunting porcupine. They're really fast, so they're able to run around a porcupine, confuse it, and then get out its little face and flip it over and stuff, and not a lot of animals can do that.
So enrichment is very important for any animal. It provides stimulation for the body and the mind, and it keeps them occupied throughout the day. It also lets them express any sort of natural behaviors they might have, and hopefully reduces any sort of stress they might have in that environment as well. Some of his favorite items are a box and a box and a box and a box, which is essentially numerous boxes shoved into one another with a high value reward in the very last box. He also really enjoys scent-related items from other animals, whether it be fur, urine, an object that's been brought in from another animal's enclosure, but specifically fur is one of his favorites. So I do train for multiple reasons. I train to create that bond and that trust between the animal and the keeper. It's really important to create a routine. It simplifies things and reduces stress. Also, when it comes to any sort of medical procedure that needs to be performed, it reduces stress in that way as well. And throughout the day, if we have a routine in place, everything just runs so much smoother, and our bond and our trust is that much stronger. Since the population of fishers is declining, and they do seem to be a species that the public is not as familiar with, I think he's going to be a great ambassador to have here. And by having him at the BC Wildlife Park, we can better educate the public on his importance and the role he plays in this ecosystem.